All right, Laura. So we talked a little bit about why you're here, why you made it out today. What drives you to come across the state on a Saturday morning and just pour out into others?
Yeah, so I have a passion for helping others, for volunteering and just giving my time, because I know all too well what it's like to have that taken away. And going back as far as my mom being taken away, she passed away when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So I was taken from that home and into foster care until I was like 13. Then I was adopted. They divorced by the time I was 16. So it's just a lot of back and forth, a lot of trauma, a lot of being lost and confused. I grew up in a lot of different churches, homes, schools. So, and then also losing my father, my adopted father, 10 years ago. I watched him become an alcoholic. He took his life. So with all that being said, like I know what it's like to lose stuff. I know what it's like to go through a lot of like storms in life. So to be able to come down here and help, spread little seeds of hope that are going to grow into, bigger, trees of hope, hopefully. So just to be able to like give some sort of like words of encouragement and like inspiration from someone who's been through pretty much the first 30 years of my life, I look back, it was all a storm to me. The most that came out of my life was I had a son when I was young. I was 20, and my dad helped me raise him. And so when I lost my dad, that's when I lost my hope, or what little bit of hope I had. So he, like I said, he struggled with alcohol for 10 years till he took his life. And so eventually I went down that road too, until I came down here to Florida. And I moved down here 4 years ago, just on a whim with a friend, and pretty much my life the last 4 years of my life have never been better, like night and day. So being able to, work together with other people in especially the Tampa Bay area community, I feel like that's my family. And so when family says, hey, we're going down here, we're doing this, or doing this outreach, whatever it is, like I do all kinds of volunteer stuff just because I feel like God calls me to do that. And also looking back on all the stuff I've been through, I look at it as like this like fiery furnace of just tragedy, really. But I don't look at it that much anymore, because I feel like God has brought me out of the fire to go back into the fire to help those same people. It's like I'm protected now to be able to go into that fire,
That's so good.
Like the story in the Bible, but,
yeah.
So I know God is with me no matter what storms I go through today. So I'm able to kind of like share that through this outreach and all the outreaches that I do. If I could quit my job and just help people, which I do. I actually just got a job as a life coach, as I mentioned earlier, but I just feel like that's what, God calls us all to do something in some way, shape, or form, but I get to use my trauma to help others. I used to question, why did this happen to me? Why? And now I get to ask, how can I can still question, just not question why. I can question, how can this be used? So it wasn't all for nothing,
So this storm brought so much damage to this Ft.Meyers area. There were so many people that one day had their homes, had their lives. Maybe some of them even had family members that they no longer have with them. What can you speak into, or where can you pour into those people that are having to start from scratch or having to work through loss?
I look back at the countless times that I've had to start over, and I, couldn't see through the lens that I see through now. Like now I see like starting over as an opportunity, a way to rebuild. And come together as a community. All those times that I tried to start over, I was trying to do it by myself. And, just letting people here know that they're not alone. Like, people from all over the country are coming here to help rebuild. It's going to take time. It really is. But one day at a time is how I live my recovery. So that's kind of like how, I've been sharing with those that have come through. And when I asked them, like, how are you, one of the first questions I asked is, how are you getting by? So I can kind of like tailor my encouragement to what their answer is. And I want it to be, specific to their needs.
You told me about it a little earlier, but what kind of role did elevation specifically play in your sobriety, in your recovery, and how did God use elevation initially when you were back home in North Carolina and now in the Tampa Bay community?
Yeah, so I look back at, this was back in 2018 when I was in 4 rehabs that year, but my second one was when I was first introduced to elevation, and I look back and that's where those seeds were planted. I feel like that's where that community seed was planted in me, and I was involved for many, many months until I moved down here, and I didn't really know. I think I went to a few watch parties when I first came down here, and then I did get involved in another church, but like, God has a way of bringing us back to where He wants us to be. Sometimes we feel like we got to go around this, but He's like, no, I want you right here. So just seeing the community that's just spread all over the world, but being able to connect with people like one-on-one in your community, and also be a part of something that's bigger than us, but it doesn't feel that big because of the connection that each community has with each other. And it's like, here we are with 3 or 4 different communities in Florida that's elevation based. So it's really nice to just to be a part of that and connect with other people that you don't see every day. And we're a part of a family, so I love it. I love feeling connected and a part of something. So I love it.
That's so good, man. That's a wrap.